Good morning, guys. It is Soncerae here. I appreciate you being here, tuning into my early morning live stream. Um, I have a new schedule that I'm doing with my videos. So from today on, I will not be doing live streams during the day this early. Okay. I think I'm going to do them 3 p.m. my time. So it'll be like 7 or 8 p.m. on the East Coast. So I won't be doing them this early. I also probably won't be talking about topics like this. Maybe. I don't know. I still am going to talk about my life on my YouTube channel, but I don't want to keep repeating stories I've already told because someone's reaching out to me to tell me to ask me to address a topic that I spoke about previously because they heard about the topic from someone else. The way that rumors get started is that people will speak about a topic they know nothing about, and they'll try to sensationalize the story to help them look better. As if they're bringing some type of exclusive to the world. Someone came into my community tab, of course, with some drama, of course, and it's always men. I notice it's more men being gossipy and, like causing drama on my YouTube channel. It's not women. So, ladies, you're definitely acting accordingly. You're being very, mature and intellectual inside of my comment sections all the time. It's very rare that I find a woman trolling or a woman trying to start some drama or a woman saying something negative. So, a lot of ladies are definitely on their best behavior inside of my community tab and on my in my comment section, even if these women disagree with some statements I have made or some things that I have done in the past. We're all different. We all come from different economical backgrounds and different places. We come from different places in the United States, and some of us are not even in the United States. I have people from Australia listening to me, people in Jamaica, people in Russia, the United Kingdom. I have people all over the world watching me and listening to me. And when I see each other, you guys mesh well with each other, even though we're all different and we accept each other. That's what I appreciate inside of my comment section. And so it's only Black men that's coming into my comment section behaving badly. And so one guy came into my comment section and asked me to address me being a madam, me and my mother being a madam, right? Now let's get this out of the way. My mother has never been a madam. Okay. My mother was an accountant when I was younger. And then my mother got very, very sick and she's been ill all my life since then. Like my mother got sick when I was like, I don't know, like 12, maybe a couple of years before that, maybe 10, and she has been sick for the rest of my life. Okay, she's been disabled, she's been in and out of the hospital. She had a couple of surgeries, and we got a settlement one year because of a surgery that went wrong. They actually took some of her intestines out when they wasn't supposed to because she had endometriosis. And if you know anything about endometriosis, it's the buildup of scar tissue in the uterus. And so they was inside of her uterus trying to cut off the scar tissue um, from the endometriosis, and they accidentally cut out a piece of her intestine and it made her sicker. So she ended up getting a settlement about 15 or 16 years ago, and I used that money to create all of my business, and it was part of the reason why I became extremely wealthy during the time I was, on millionaire status. So I was working on a couple of businesses at one time, and the settlement actually helps me get into a good place financially to where I was just stable. Okay, now this was like so many years ago. This was not like 10 years ago. Like the person who's spreading the rumor about me being a madam, I only knew this person maybe 10 years ago. So when I was wealthy, or even when I was a madam, this was long before I met this person. So this person shouldn't even been speaking about, number one, my money, my finances, or me being an escort. Because when I met him, I was no escort, and even before him, I was no escort. I was a madam at an escort service. So let's talk about me being inside of this type of thing. So when I moved to Atlanta in 2000. Okay. And I do want you guys to understand every single thing that I discuss on my channel, especially this topic right here. I've already spoke about this. This is not something like no one exposed me. It's not an accusation. It's more of something that I spoke about on my channel before, and someone is being malicious and trying to twist the story to make them look better than they are. They're a despicable, lying person. And I just want to address this in a healthy way so that people can understand this is the story and this is how it went. So um in 2000 I moved to Atlanta. Okay. And in Atlanta, I had started doing my music, of course. I was ministering. I was going to college. And then something happened. I graduated from college. I was no longer ministering. And I was still doing my music, but my music had slowed down a little. And so my daughter's father lived in Charlotte, and he had our daughter at this time because he and I used to take care of my oldest daughter, who's 18 now. We used to take care of her when she was younger. We would take turns because he is originally from Washington, D.C., and so am I. And so while I was in Atlanta, he had moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And so I went to Charlotte, North Carolina to have spent some time with him and my daughter. Now, during this time, this was one of the times that me and my daughter's father was trying to attempt to get back together. We didn't, but we tried to attempt it, you know? And so I was in Charlotte for maybe a year or two. Okay. So before I got to Charlotte, I had went to like a couple of modeling agencies, and I was trying to see because people were reaching out to me, like photographers and stuff were reaching out to me in Atlanta, and I didn't know, what modeling entailed at the time. I didn't know it wasn't something that I was really taking serious, but a couple of photographers in Atlanta had wanted to shoot. So I went to a couple of modeling agencies that some photographers had basically directed me to. And every single modeling agency that I went to just basically told me I wasn't pretty enough. They told me I wasn't slim enough and I wasn't pretty enough. And so I was like, okay, I didn't take it very serious because modeling wasn't something that I wanted to do so desperately that I was just going to do whatever I can to make it happen. It wasn't one of those things. And so when I did finally decide to move to Charlotte from Atlanta, I was like just taking a break from everything that had to do with entertainment. Okay, everything. Even the stuff that I was doing inside of corporate America too, because remember, I'm juggling so many things. I'm juggling school, being a minister, interning, being in the entertainment industry, and also trying to keep a corporate job. This is all of this stuff that I was juggling around this time. Like like an octopus. I'm the type of person that likes to have a whole bunch of different sources of income. I like to work. I'm a very hardworking person. I'm not lazy at all. Like I just like to keep moving all of the time. I like to keep working on projects. I have to be working on something all of the time. I have to stay busy, or I feel like I'm not being productive in life. And so when I got to Charlotte, I was taking a break because I was burnt out. It was times where I would come home to my mother's house because I wasn't living with her. I would go to my mom's house when I was in Atlanta. I would go to my mom's house and I would sleep like straight every day for like a week because I would spend so much time out not sleeping and working, and I would get burnt out, and I would just go to my mother's house and just sleep for like a week. It don't really do nothing, just lay around and sleep and eat. And I did this, and I said, you know what, maybe I just need a break. So I go to Charlotte to spend time with my daughter and my daughter's father. Okay, and I get there, and I'm realizing Charlotte is a nice place. They call it the Queen City, or CLT, or how they do ATL. They call it CLT. And so it's a beautiful place. And we lived on the outskirts of Charlotte. We lived in this upscale county called Matthews. I mean, this upscale city called Matthews. Okay. And so Matthews was predominantly a predominantly white area. My daughter's father has always lived in like upscale communities because he's always been financially in a good place. He's always been, working, and he's an engineer, so he's always had employment. I don't remember ever seeing him without a job. And even if he might have been between jobs, he would take on another job. Like maybe one time, between jobs, he was working as a delivery person. Like he would deliver packages, and then at the same time, he would turn around and he would deliver like pizza. He did that. He's the type of person that does that. When he between jobs, he'll do a small job just so he can get a little bit of money until he gets the job that he wants. And so, um, he was working, of course, as an engineer, and we lived in Matthews. And so, I was kind of like, because I didn't know anybody, I didn't know what was going on, I didn't know anything. Of course, I would use social media. Now, I already had a social media presence somewhat because I had already been on Facebook. And, Facebook was for people who were in college. Like, you couldn't get a Facebook page unless you were in college. And so while I was in college, I got me a Facebook page. And so, um, I was like on some social media platform, Black Planet, I think, because I just did a video about online dating, and you'll hear me talk about Black Planet and how I used to be on Black Planet, and I would write short stories for men who were in the military, because during that time you couldn't really watch TV on your phone and stuff like that. You back then when you were in the military, you were just in the military, and it was a lot of boredom. So a lot of soldiers would get online and use, you know, Black Planet and other social media platforms to communicate with, you know, people at home or just new people in wherever they were stationed. So I would write a whole bunch of guys in the military, a whole bunch of short stories. And so I got onto Black Planet, and this, when I changed my location on my Black Planet page, a photographer from Chapel Hill hit me up and said, you're beautiful. I think you should take a picture. And I was like, I'm not pretty enough for that, And I had heard that in Atlanta. I said, I'm not pretty enough to be a model. I'm not pretty enough for you to be doing a photo shoot. Okay, that's not, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, well, if you come in and do a photo shoot with me and you tell me all the things that you don't like about yourself, I promise you I'll fix them with camera tricks. And I said, really? Now, during this time, Photoshop wasn't like this big thing that photographers were doing. Everyone was shooting everything like raw. Photoshop, people were editing. Like, people were editing, but it was like upscale magazines and stuff like Cosmopolitan and Vogue and stuff like that. People were airbrushing, like models were being airbrushed. And also models who were doing like King magazine and Smooth magazine and Black Men magazine. This is when all of this stuff was popping around that time. And so he was just like, listen, if you come shoot with me, the average photographer will do a camera trick. And he said, if you come shoot with me, I'll shoot you in a way to where the things that you don't like about yourself won't even be seen in that picture. And I said, okay. So I go to the photo shoot. I go from Charlotte to Chapel Hill, all right, and shoot with this photographer. And he takes the pictures of me that he shot and he puts them on this site called Model Mayhem. So modelmayhem.com is still up. I still have my profile up. I have a new profile, but it's been up for years, but it's not the original profile that I was using when I was when I first started modeling. It's a completely different profile. But if you go on modelmayhem.com, I'm still up there. And so that's still how I find photographers now to shoot. And so he put my pictures up on Model Mayhem, and he told me to create a profile on this site and another site called modelplace.com. And so I was like, well, why would I do that? And he said, well, so you can find other photographers to shoot you because you're beautiful. They're going to want to shoot you. And so I said, okay. And so I created a profile and I put all of my pictures up that he had taken me. And it blew up after that. Like, it blew up immediately. Like, I put my pictures up. I think I had a profile up one day of pictures that he took of me. No editing, no anything. Every photographer within like a damn 150-mile radius of Charlotte, North Carolina wanted to shoot. Photographers were hitting me up from the other side of the country, but couldn't shoot me because I lived in Charlotte. And they were like, you're such a beautiful woman. I want to shoot you. So I started shooting all of the time. I went from coming to Charlotte, not knowing anybody, to suddenly shooting every day. I was shooting every day, except for like Sundays. And then there would be some days where I would shoot twice in one day. Okay, now, initially it started off to where I wasn't getting paid. I was just shooting shooting because I was building a portfolio and I was building a brand at the same time. So I created a MySpace page. All right. Now MySpace was popping off like crazy around then too. So I put my pictures up on MySpace. All right. It popped off there too. People started seeing my pictures and I started getting popular on social media in general. People just started seeing me everywhere. And so this one guy came to me and I was still in Charlotte. I had only been in Charlotte maybe, I don't know, 4 months. I had blew up in Charlotte in a 4 month period. Okay. I hadn't been there long at all. And I had already became like popular. Everyone who knew who I was in a little bit of time because of the modeling. Like had I not, after a week or so being in Charlotte, just ran into this Chapel Hill photographer who wanted to shoot me, my popularity would have never went that way because, and it went that way that fast. It would have never did that. And so anyway, I'm all over the place and I'm an attractive woman and people are noticing that she's like naturally beautiful. There's no, I wasn't wearing pounds and pounds of makeup. I was naturally coming to photo shoots with just like my eyebrows arched and some damn lip gloss. And that's it. And everybody wanted to shoot. And so this guy came to me and he said to me that he had this escort service in Charlotte called Ass Kings. And he needed someone to motivationally uplift his girls and to take care of them. Because as a man, right? As a man, being owning an escort service, it's very difficult to number one connect with women in a way that will continue to keep them working. Usually, let me explain the difference between an escort service and just a prostitute or a hooker on the side of the street. An escort service usually has high end clients to where they're celebrities or athletes or whatever, and they have substantial amounts of money. They're businessmen, they're executives, and they will pay just for a woman to go out on a date with them. They don't necessarily have to sleep with them. They just need somebody that's going to go on a date with them and not make life so complicated. When they need a woman to go to a upscale event of some kind, they just want to get an escort. And so a madam is what he needed. And he wasn't a pimp or anything. He just ran the escort service. And there's a difference between a madam and a pimp. A pimp will normally control a girl's life all across the board. And when a girl usually comes to a pimp, 9 times out of 10, she's like a stripper or she's already been on the corner, you work in the corner, and he'll probably end up um, probably grooming her into becoming an escort of some kind if he has an upscale, classy thought process in his mind. Sometimes pimps are not, most of the time, pimps are not like that. Most pimps want prostitutes to be on the corner, on the street, and that's not the same thing as a guy who's running an escort service. And pimps are usually, they're not very nice people either. They're not very nice to their prostitutes. They might take care of them as far as survival and put them in a house, but they're very, very controlling over their girls. You know what I mean? And most of the pimps out there, they're abusing drugs and alcohol. So 9 times out of 10, their girls are abusing drugs and alcohol as well. Okay. So as a madam, right? Most madams, okay, they aren't all prostitutes. Some have been escorts and some are former prostitutes, but most madams don't escort or prostitute. 9 times out of 10, they have a regular thing that they're doing. They have families, they're married, they have a career, and they have children. Usually they're not in the street like that. It's not even anything that has to do with sexuality. It's more of a business to where they come in and they're running this dating mechanism. It's like I said, a lot of men out there who are financially stable, especially if they're nerdy, it's very difficult for them to find a woman to go out on a date with at the drop of a hat if they need to do something or they need to go somewhere. So they'll just call it escort service just to get an escort, like a literal escort, not really someone to have sex with. Some men just want the company. What I've noticed with most men who would contact the escort service, they just wanted someone to, communicate with, or someone to keep them company. Usually that's how I would go. Now, don't get it twisted. Some have sex. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that majority of the time, that's not even really a man's thought process when he's contacting an escort service. Now, when he wants sex, usually a man would just drive up to a strip and go get a prostitute, especially in areas where it's legal, or they'll go to like this brothel or something like that. Okay, so um handling an escort service has a lot to do with marketing and promotions. Okay, so you're screening a lot of the girls, you're screening a lot of the clients. Most of it, you exclude drugs and alcohol. We always encourage the girls to don't drink too much. I mean, if you're going to have a glass of champagne or a glass of wine out at an event, it makes sense, but try not to take drugs and alcohol too much. um you don't you don't want to be caught up in a situation to where a escort is being raped or abused or something negative is happening to her. So these are all things that I'm factoring in as a madam. Okay, and like I said, most of the clients that would contact me or contact the escort service, they were upscale people, and there needed to be some type of secrecy involved because it's no man who is a businessman or is wealthy or who has power wants to be exposed as a man who's going around paying for prostitutes or paying for escorts. A lot of people use escorting and prostitution interchangeably. They think it's the same thing when it's not. It's two very different things. But when you're standing outside looking in, to you it looks the same. It looks like a escort is just basically a high price hooker. You know what I'm saying? That's how people look at that industry. They don't, because they don't know. They're from the outside looking in. And so um, a lot of people, a lot of madams don't say that they're a madam because, again, being a madam, you're behind the scenes. No one sees you. No one knows that you're there. You're just the person that is handling a lot of the grooming of girls, making sure girls are clean, making sure girls shave or wax, making sure girls do their hair, brush their damn teeth, have the proper etiquette when they're going on these dates with these men. So that's all I was doing, educating girls, motivating them, inspiring them. And a lot of the time, the girls that were escorting, they didn't have mothers, they didn't have sisters, they didn't have aunties, they didn't have anybody to encourage them to be better or help them groom. They were just women who either grew up in a foster care system or they had just a hard life. Maybe their parents were drug addicts. It was so many different girls that came in with so many different stories. And so I was just there to, be that motivation, be that inspiration, and encourage them to do better with their lives and to not continue to do escorting. And escorting was supposed to be a financial stepping stone to something else. Like if they wanted to escort, they could escort until they generated enough income to go to college or to get the home that they want or whatever the case was. So I always would push girls to go into a positive direction. I've always been this way. And so this was in Charlotte, North Carolina. My mother did not live in Charlotte, North Carolina. She never lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina with my daughter's father and my daughter. And it was only us two there. We didn't have any other family there or anything. It was just us two and her. And so I was generating, that was one of my sources of income. Okay, now after I left Charlotte and I continued to model in Atlanta, I started a social organization for women inside of entertainment called Block Dimes. And so this might be a level of confusion for people as well, because a lot of the Block Dimes, they were strippers, they were porn stars, they were escorts, they were prostitutes, they were all types of women inside of the entertainment industry. During that time, a lot of people didn't realize that most of the girls that they were seeing in King magazine, Smooth magazine, those video girls that they would see all of the time in, the early 2000s, they didn't even realize that most of those girls that y'all was watching that y'all thought was oh so fine, they were strippers. They were porn stars. They were escorts. And people did not realize that. They just thought that these girls was like actors, or because there used to be a time where all of these women who were inside of these videos and were inside of these magazines, they were like flight attendants and teachers and stuff like that. Like I remember Esther Baxter. If anyone knows anything about Esther Baxter, this is a long time ago. Esther Baxter was like one of the most beautiful models. They used to put her on everything. Black Man, King, Smooth. She was just gorgeous. She was like, I think, a teacher. She was a teacher. So most of the women that used to be inside of these magazines, inside of these videos in the 90s and stuff like that, the late 90s, they had like real careers. They were teachers, flight attendants, executives at companies, secretaries, like administrative assistants. They were they were doing like real jobs in corporate America, and it just so happens that they were beautiful. And so um time changed, with time that changed, and then suddenly all of the women that were in these videos and on these magazines, they were strippers, porn stars, escorts, you know prostitutes, because these women were looking for a come up. They was looking for ways to no longer have to do that stuff. Like most women who participate in that type of stuff don't want to do it for the rest of their lives. Like, it's rare that a woman will wake up one morning and say, hey, you know what, I think I want to be a prostitute or escort, blah, blah, blah. Because number one, the negative connotation that's placed on top of a woman being a prostitute or escort, it's a negative connotation stacked on top of it. Like, a man could turn around and be a gigolo and no one would give a fuck. They'll just let him go, fuck around. But if a woman does this, she's looked at negatively. And a lot of women don't want for society to look at them that way because, women get shunned. They get stoned for having a little bit of sexuality, just a little bit. So imagine if you're a porn star or a stripper and you're consistently working inside of the sex industry, you're always getting chastised for it at the same time. Someone's always trying to make you feel bad for it at the same time. However, simultaneously, you have all of these fans, all of these people cheering you on for putting your sexuality to the forefront. That's why you have people like Black China, Amber Rose, people that the world would classify as whores, but at the same time, they're famous as hell. Kim Kardashian. And to me, I don't even think Kim Kardashian is a whore. I think she just had a sex tape with her boyfriend when they was together. And then the sex tape leaked and she says, well, shit, this is going to be out there anyway. I'm just going to make some money off of it. And so then everybody just started classifying her as a whore from then on. It didn't matter what she did. She could have been the Virgin fucking Mary until she met Kanye West. And people were still going to call her a whore because of that sex tape. You see what I'm saying? So when women do something sexual one time, they have the stigma on their life for the rest of their lives. And I was just saying on Facebook that the very person that decided to come on YouTube and try to accuse my mother of being a madam and to discuss me being a madam, they're talking about something that they know nothing about. This is not a conversation that I had with him specifically to where he could expose me as someone who was a madam. He and I never had that conversation. I never really brought it up a lot. I brought it up on YouTube 3 years ago. So no one would have known I was a madam unless I said it. And I tell people all of the time, there are people out there who do not mean well when they're discussing me. They want to make themselves look better than what they are. So they'll discuss me in a way that's derogatory. And they'll claim they're exposing a secret of mine when these are actually things that I spoke about on my channel myself. You can't expose me. You can't tell a secret I haven't already told, because usually when it's something of that magnitude, I have realized my place in society in regards to being a public figure. So I address things as a public figure would, because I want people to understand that can't nobody expose me. And if some information is out there about me, it's because it's my choice and I chose to share it. It isn't because someone decided to dig into my personal life and speak about something they know nothing about, like this character did. This character also put a stigma on me for the rest of my life, where he created this false story about experiences that he had with me, claiming that he saw me sleep with 10 guys. He didn't see that. He saw me, this is what he said, he saw me giving oral sex to a whole bunch of men. He never saw that. But because he's going around saying that, and people are believing that, it's going to be a stigma on me for the rest of my life, even if he decides to turn around and be man enough to tell the truth about our situation. You see what I'm saying? Now, the amazing part about me is I'm gonna do me regardless. Like, if I was afraid of what people thought about me, I wouldn't have shared the story that I was a madam to begin with. if I was concerned about the opinions of other people or whether I would be chastised or not, I would have never shared the story. And you guys would have never heard about me being a madam because it's not something I discussed often. I didn't tell a whole bunch of people this. This was something that I kept to myself for a very, very long time because I just always felt like it was nobody's business. Most madams don't tell anybody that they're a madam. And the reason why is because people automatically assume a madam is a prostitute or a madam is an escort, when usually, no, not really. They're just going around, basically doing the same things a pimp would do, just in a business way, turning around, doing the business marketing and promotion for these girls and making sure that these girls have the adequate and trying to get them to understand that you don't have to go into these situations and have sex with these men who are calling the escort service. They're only calling the escort service to get a date at the last minute and a date that knows how to act. It's just an act of convenience. But if they want to sleep with these guys, if that's what they want to do, that's the business. You know what I'm saying? Athletes do it, businessmen do it. It's just a high end place for a man to get like a date. It's just a dating mechanism. That's all. It's almost like being a matchmaker. And that runs parallel with everything that I've been doing my entire life when I'm sitting here giving relationship advice. I mean, look at the history of my channel. Look at the history of my channel. I'm consistently giving relationship advice. I'm consistently being positive all the time. I have videos on my channel encouraging women to have some sort of etiquette. So it's not far-fetched what I'm telling you. Everything that I say all connects. There's no thing that's outlandish that I discuss. Everything connects in some kind of way. And so when you hear people talk about me, or if you hear a rumor about me, please consider that the person that you're hearing this rumor from does not mean well. Sometimes these people are trying to expose you to expose me or another person to get some attention. People do it all of the time. So don't be surprised. And another thing, people lie all of the time too. We're on social media. There's a whole social media culture. You guys have got to know by now that everything that you're looking at on social media isn't always accurate. It isn't always the truth. It isn't always something that, you know, people are posting to help. There's times that big news media sources has posted the wrong information about someone. People are malicious. People don't mean well. So when you hear this story about me being a madam, please disclude my mother. My mother was never a madam. Never. My mother was never a madam. She didn't even know I was a madam until like last year. Like when I said to my mother, when I lived in Charlotte, I was a blah, but my mother had no idea. Okay. And like I said, it wasn't something that I was going around telling everybody. And then I told everybody the story like 2 or 3 years ago on my YouTube channel. So for someone to be bringing it up as if they have the inside intel, they got, they were there or something, people should not talk about things they know nothing about. And this is the main reason why I had a problem with this person running their mouth to begin with, because every time they discuss me in a way as if they know me. When in reality, when I was dealing with that person, I left very much of my life out of the conversation because our relationship during that time, even though we were friends, it was based off of sex and that's it. So most of my personal life, regards to my finances or my career or anything that had to do with my family, anything, I kept very separate from that situation. So when this man decides he wants to get onto social media or any type of platform and scream to the top of his lungs, any type of personal information he tries to make it seem like he knows about and no one else knows about. It's bullshit. He only picked it up from my YouTube channel. He picked it up from watching something old, or he took something that I said and spinned it like the spin doctor he is to try to make it seem like it's something more than it was. Now, it was very important to me to address this topic to begin with, because I wanted people to understand that, being a madam is very different from being a pimp, and being an escort is very different from being a prostitute. And I was never a prostitute. I was never an escort. I've never been a stripper. I've never been a porn star. And these are all rumors that people continuously keep repeating over and over again. But no one has any type of proof anywhere that I did any of these things. I've heard people swear up and down I was a porn star, but can't find one clip of me doing porn. Nowhere. Because I've never done porn. I've never been a prostitute. There's no man out here that can say, hey, you know what? I was in my car and I pulled up to this corner and Soncerae was there and I paid her off to do such and such and such. That's never happened. There's no man that can say, hey, I called this escort service and then Soncerae came out and me and her were, did our thing. We went on a date and then we had sex. That never happened because I've never been a prostitute. Again, never been a porn star. I've never been a stripper, too. A lot of people saw me inside of the strip club. And the reason why they saw me in the strip club is because I had my social organization for Black women in entertainment called Block Dime. So some of my Block Dimes were strippers. And because I was one of those popular people that when I would come to the club, I would have a whole bunch of people with me. Promoters would pay me to come to the club. They give me a grand or two to bring a whole bunch of people to the club. Okay. They would charge me. I would charge them maybe during this time a grand to maybe $6,000 for me to come out and bring like 20 block dimes with me. And so when I would bring the block dimes, sometimes it would be a promoter who ran the strip club. It would be a promoter who did a promotion every Saturday at a strip club. And he would just ask me to come out and for it to be a balance of females and males in there. Sometimes I would go into clubs. I would leave the girls outside, right? And I would walk into the club to try to make sure everything was okay to where we had like our VIP section or whatever the case is. And it would be a motherfucking sausage factory in there. It would be so many guys. Like I would be confused as to why did you promote this to just men and that's it? And then I realized, well, that's the reason why you're calling me. You're telling me to come so I can bring a whole bunch of girls because it would be like so many men inside of their party. So I would be a means to an end because it would be easy. A promoter could call me at, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the afternoon and say, you know what? I'm having a party at 9 o'clock. Can you come to this party and bring 20 or 30 girls with you? And I'd be like, okay, tell them how much it is. And then when I got there, got my money and brought the girls in there. And all we would do was sit down, eat free, drink free in the VIP section. That's it. I ain't never paid one time to get into the club. I've never had to because I knew every single promoter in the city of Atlanta. So any type of venue that I walked in, regardless to what it was, I never had to pay. Because I was always classified as the chick who would bring all the girls with her. So regardless to the club or the event, I just walked in. So I remember telling a story about this same guy who's running his mouth, who spread this rumor that my mother and I were madams. My mother was never a madam. This same guy, he worked security at Harlem Nights, a club in Atlanta. He worked security there. And the first time, I think it was, I don't know. I think I hadn't been to Harlem Nights in such a long time. And it was my birthday. And I hadn't been there in such a long time. But every time I had walked into Harlem Nights, I never had to pay. So here it was my birthday. And he was handing me a clipboard to put my email address on it. And I put my email address on it. And they asked me to pay. I think it was only like $20. It wasn't even a lot of money. And I looked at him like, nigga, please. Do I look like I'm about to pay to go into this club? And I told my friends, this club right here is not worth me paying anything to get in. It ain't like it's one of the best clubs in the city. I'm not about to sit here and pay anything to get in here. I didn't want to come anyway. My friends wanted to come. So I was telling them, listen, unless y'all kicking out $20 for Soncerae to come in, I didn't even want to be in here. And my friends was like, well, if you don't want to go, we brought you here. I said, I told y'all I didn't want to go here. And everybody around me was so used to getting in the club free when I was around. It made no sense to pay to get in the club. And earlier that day, I had a day party at like this like, I forgot the name of this place. It was like a high-end like restaurant in Buckhead. So earlier that day, all of my friends and stuff went to this lunch and we all ate lunch together. And then that night they wanted to go to Harlem Nights and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to go here. Like by the time, I don't know. I think I had been in the club so much that by the time I turned like 30, 31, maybe 32, I was starting getting burnt out of clubs. I didn't want to go. It's just like I had been so much by then. It was just like, I'm so sick of the club. I never want to see the club again because I kept getting booked all of the time. When you've been in a club over and over and over, it's not as amazing to you. When you work in the club, and you see the club from a different perspective, you burn out of the club. Like you hate it. You're like, I wish to never see a club a day in my life. Like I'm glad where I live, it's not like this big party city. You know what I mean? Like I gotta like search far and wide for a club because it's like this is not a party city. That's how Atlanta was. So I got burnt out with Atlanta, honestly. Like Atlanta was just one of those places where it was all about partying. Atlanta has always been about partying. Okay, Atlanta was just a party place. It's where everybody went to party. Everybody who was in college, they would come down for Freaknik or whatever the fuck else and party, and they were supposed to leave. But then people wanted to have a life party for the rest of their life. They wanted to be in the club for the rest of their life. So they decided to move to Atlanta and party and party and party and party and party and party. So they're like 45 and shit. Like I didn't want to do that. I never liked the club ever. Like never. I remember when I was young, I was like 17 or 18. And my younger sister and my aunts and stuff, they would take my younger sister to the club with a fake ID and get her in. And I never wanted to go. Like, I was like, I'm not going to this shit. They used to drink and stuff when I was young. I never drank. You know, I was just like really into church and into God and stuff. So I wasn't really like opening up to that type of lifestyle. When I got to Atlanta is when I got introduced to a different type of lifestyle. And by this time, you know, when I started seeing all of the clubs and stuff like that, I had to have been like 24. Think about that. I started going to the club when I was like 23 or 24. I started modeling at 22. And I had built my reputation up as a popular person so I could pull people into the club. I didn't start going to the club like that until I was like 23, 24. Like, that says a lot because usually once you turn 18 or once you turn 21 is on, right? Like you're going to the club. But that was not me at all. That wasn't my personality. Everything was about business to me. When I walked up in the club, if it had nothing to do with entertainment or if it wasn't making me any money, I wasn't going. Period. Period. Everything that I do, every single move that I make on social media, and if you see me at an event, it always had something to do with business. It was never, I'm out here for my personal enjoyment. Even on my birthdays. On my birthdays, it would still have something to do with business because I would throw like parties at Dave and Buster's. And it would still have like some type of business aspect to it. I never have done anything that didn't have to do with business. It's rare. Like if I would try to do, like even with this whole swingers lifestyle thing, remember I went to the one party with the asshat who made up this rumor that my mother was a madam, the same asshat, right? Introduced me to the swingers lifestyle. He took me to the swingers party. Okay. After that, he introduced me. Well, before he even took me to the swingers party, he introduced me to the owner of the Black-owned swingers club that was about to close. He needed someone to do the marketing and branding, the promotions. He needed someone to redo all of that stuff so more people could come to the club so he could renovate. He needed money to renovate. And so I started working for him, and he ended up getting enough money to renovate the place. You feel what I'm saying? So everything I do for a reason. And I have a degree in business marketing. So if it don't have nothing to do with marketing, promotion, something to improve a business, I don't want to do it. Period. Even YouTube. Like people think YouTube, oh, Soncerae's on YouTube promoting her personal life because she wants to be a messy bitch. No. Hello. Listen, part of being a content creator, especially one who vlogs their life, you kind of got to talk about your life. You understand what I'm saying? So initially, I started off, like I said, on YouTube, I started off doing comedy skits. That's what I was doing. Someone said to me, Soncerae, you should do comedy skits. And then other people was like, yo, you should tell us more about your life. You've been doing comedy skits for such and such. Start telling us more about your life. So I started telling people more about my life because people were asking. No one asked me what I want to do. No one said, hey, Soncerae, what do you really want to do on your YouTube channel? I didn't start doing what I really want to do on my YouTube channel until like a month ago. Do you guys understand that? Like, I'm just now starting to do what I want to do on my YouTube channel. If you notice that rebranding, it looks oh so amazing. Like, that's what I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been wanting to say, like, fuck the drama because I've never been interested in it. There were people coming to my channel swearing up and down that Soncerae was the person who gossiped the most and had all of this drama and all this XYZ. And that's never been who I am at all. Anyone who's been watching me for a long time knows that. So when I decided to start talking about my life, it didn't suddenly make me, oh, this gossipy girl who's bringing up these stories just to hurt niggas and stalk niggas. I will put these niggas on blast just like a person will put another person on blast who committed a motherfucking crime. It's the same thing. Like my ass would be like, girls, ladies, and I would always do this for the ladies. Even though majority of my audience was male, I would turn around and do a video for the ladies to prevent them from dating a guy in the city of Atlanta that they shouldn't have been dating. Like I have 2 videos on my YouTube channel right now about Atlanta sexual predator. I didn't do that video because I wanted to. I did those videos because a group of girls on Facebook who was butthurt over this guy playing them, giving them STDs, being married, having like 6 to 12 children and not telling them. So they asked me to use my platform to help them. And so I did it. So a lot of the times when I've been putting some dude who talks too much on blast, it's been for me to say to women, you know what? It's fuckboys out here. Fuckboys have even tried to get at me. So don't feel like because, you dealing with fuckboys, it's just you. It's a lot of women, successful women, women who are pretty, women who aren't pretty, light-skinned women, dark-skinned women, black women, white women. It's happening to all women. So don't feel like you're alone because you ran into a fuckboy. Come to Soncerae's channel and see that Soncerae done been talking about fuckboys for 8 years and the fuckery that they have been participating in. You understand what I'm saying? So meanwhile, behind, I'm tiptoeing around trying to talk about my metaphysics and spirituality. I'm doing videos that don't have nothing to do with drama or putting fuckboys on blast or me vlogging my life. It got more to do with me wanting to just spread spirituality and metaphysics, and I'm barely getting any hits on this stuff. So I'm thinking, so I got to continue to talk about the stuff that they want to talk about, not the stuff that I want to do. I got to talk about what they want to talk about, because if I do the stuff that I want to do, I'm not going to get any views on my channel. This is a business. So I need to figure out supply and demand. I need to figure out what these people want. So I'm doing everything that everybody else wants me to do just to generate some type of income off of my YouTube channel. Not faking the funk or anything, not sitting here lying to people, but just giving people what they want honestly. And what people wanted to hear was me talk about fuckboys, me talk about Tommy Sotomayor, me talk about the beefs that I was having with people on YouTube that was creating a beef out of nowhere when I didn't even really know them like that. And I ain't got a problem with them, but somehow they got some type of issue with me. This is what was happening. And I was like, okay, well, let me just do this. And then I turn around and I tell my story about my son and my son's father. And this changed my channel all across the board. Because after I saw how people treated me, the people that claim that they support me or love me, after they turned their backs on me because some knuckleheads on YouTube tried to create my story and turn it into some type of perversion because they wanted people to look at me negatively because they themselves are insecure and belligerent and lacking, uneducated, broke, going through their own personal things and using YouTube as a way to vent and hurt other people. So they're going around and they're making this story of mine, turn it into some type of perversion to where people are no longer sensitive about something that's so sensitive, human life. This is something I took very serious, human life. I know it's people walking around here having babies all willy-nilly, fucking this guy, fucking that guy, doing whatever, but that's not Soncerae. I took my relationship with Priest very serious. And when we got pregnant, I was really hurt by the way that he treated me because it broke up a family that I was trying to build. And the same person who's going around making up these lies saying my mother was an escort is the same person that put the drama inside of my relationship with my son's father. Same person. Still at it. And so, like I said over the weekend, anyone who didn't watch my videos over the weekend, I use my weekends to talk about spirituality and metaphysics. And I was talking about how my energy was negative. So it was pulling negative people inside of my experience. And that behind the scenes, people like to continuously poke me. They like to poke me, so I can get on my social media platform and discuss them so they can get on their channels and pretend like they're a victim. But behind the scenes, they're poking me just to get a reaction out of me. So they can have something else to talk about on their channels. And this has been happening for years. This isn't something new. This is something that they've been doing. But by me responding to them, it's making me look like I'm the crazy one because I'm the more popular one. I'm the one that's classified as a quote unquote celebrity. I'm the one with all of the damn impersonation accounts that I have to report to YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I was talking to Instagram yesterday and they're talking about verifying my Instagram account to where I got a verification badge because it didn't make any sense for it to be that many impersonation accounts. And they're sitting here deleting impersonation accounts from Instagram and Facebook because people are pretending to be me. Now, if I'm not a celebrity and I'm not all that and I'm not as wonderful as, people think, then why is this stuff happening? This is the type of stuff that only happens to celebrities. It doesn't happen to regular people. Regular people don't have a whole bunch of people making videos about them. Regular people don't have impersonation accounts. Regular people can't go outside and everybody know who they are. I have to literally hide. Listen, I went to the grocery store, right? Because remember, I said I don't want anybody to know where I am, right? I just want everybody to know I'm in San Francisco. So I try to stay away from predominantly Black area. Someone will recognize me. And it happens every single time. Every time I do it. Because I try to stay away from it, but every time I do it. There's like 2 Walmarts near my house. Okay, there's a Walmart that's like fancy dancy, no Black people. And then there's a Walmart, oh my God, it's like Hispanics, Black people. It's like the blackest Walmart fucking ever. Okay. The first time I went to this Walmart, like the first time I rode up on it, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I should go in here because I see the people that's coming here and it's mad crowded too. You know how Walmart is. The average crowd of Walmart, put that in your mind and then triple it. That's how crowded this Walmart was. Okay. It was like Club Walmart. I call it Club Walmart because people come there like it is always packed at this Walmart. If you don't come to this Walmart before 8 o'clock, you're doomed. And I do mean 8 a.m. I don't mean 8 p.m. I mean 8 a.m. every day because it is packed. So I'm looking like, oh shit, I don't want to go in this crowded ass Walmart. So I go to the other Walmart and I've been going to the other Walmart. And then one day I had an emergency because the ghetto Walmart is closer. The other Walmart is a little further. It's not that much further. It's maybe like a mile or 2 further on the highway. So I go to the ghetto Walmart because I need something immediately. I go into this Walmart. I in there 2 minutes. This guy singing, Kiki, do you love me? And then he stops and he sees me. Oh my God, Soncerae! I was like, oh shit. He was like, girl, I watch your videos all the time. I was like, first of all, can you stop yelling? Shh, shh. I watch your videos all the time. I'm a fan. Blah, blah, blah. This happens to me everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. You guys don't understand. It be people that don't know me, and I'd be so happy. When I'm in a room with people that don't know me, I'm excited because I get to relax. I get to chill. I get to just, spend time with my son, spend time with my mother. I could go out to eat at a regular restaurant, and no one would know who I am. But it's times I done been in the damn Olive Garden, just sitting there chilling. 2 people walk up to me, ain't you Soncerae? I'm like, oh my God. And usually when people see me in public, they're a lot nicer. Like the stuff that I see on YouTube, people putting in my comment section and negative stuff, I don't see that offline. People do not talk to me that way when they see me standing directly in front of them. And I said this before on the internet to where when people see me, they're excited, they're happy. And I'm like, yo, I'm happy to see you too. Cause just stop yelling though. Cause bring that yell down to could you bring it to a regular indoor voice for me, please? Thank you. And then we'll sit down and sometimes people have sat down with me and we just start talking. Because that's the type of person I am. I'm a cool person, but I don't like being in predominantly Black areas because I don't want people to know where I live. Because the problem is people from the internet, it be the internet weirdos. It don't be the people that's walking around, the regular everyday people who got a job, got shit to do, got their own family, got money. I ain't got to worry about them. But the people that have no life or they're mentally unstable and need counseling severely, or maybe a straitjacket, or maybe they just bored with their life, they like to pry into my personal life and try to cause like calamity and problems, just all of this type of drama, and I'm just not okay with that. And so as I was talking about my spirituality over the weekend, I was saying, a lot of the negative things that happen to me online, I call them into my energy. And when I respond to them in a negative way, where I get upset or I get angry or I make a video to where I'm lashing back out at this ignorant person who decided to go around and tell people that my mother was a damn escort or a madam, if I lash out at this same person who has been bothering me for 3 years and was talking negatively about me before that all around the city of Atlanta, if I continue to respond to this nigga, I'm going to mess up my own energy and my own situation. And I cannot sit here and keep interacting with people who do not want to see me happy, who are purposely trying to make my life miserable. I have to just be aware that someone is trying to do that and stay far away from them and don't even allow them the power or the opportunity to do such a thing to me. I'm such an amazing woman. And when men or women try to talk me out of believing that, that says something about them and their character. I've worked way too hard. I've done so many things with my life. I've accomplished so many things, more than the average woman or man, more than the person or the people that are discussing me all of the time. You know, the people that say negative things about you, 9 times out of 10, they've done less than what you have done with your life. And I want you to remember that when you're walking around, maybe you at your job, people talking about you at your job, or they talking about you at school, or they talking about you in your neighborhood, or maybe they're talking about you at your sorority sisters or something like that. Anything like that. If someone's talking about you, it's because they're doing less than what you do. So they're looking at your life and you have suddenly become the basis of everything that they discuss. And they're going to find something negative about what you're doing, regardless, just to make themselves feel better. You could be doing the best. You could be doing the right thing. You could be saying the right things, going and doing the right things. But people will look at the stuff that you're doing and find something negative to put on top of it just so it can make themselves feel better because they are not accomplishing the things that you're accomplishing. Every time I deal with someone on YouTube who is saying something negative about me, I look at their view counts low. I look at their subscribers low. Do they have any type of professionalism on their channel? No. Do they have any type of goals and accomplishments? No. It's always someone who has done nothing with their life, or they aren't in a position to be able to share their life in the way that I do. They are able to do what I do. And a lot of people are upset about that. But I cannot sit here and use every single live stream I got to address these people. I got too many other people that I'm concerned about inside of my comment section and inside of my live streams who I would prefer to discuss the things I want to discuss with. It's things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about metaphysics and spirituality. I want to talk about positivity, motivation, and inspiration. I want to talk about money and finances and wealth. I want to talk about business. I want to talk about all of the things that I learned inside of the entertainment industry. I want to talk about how amazing California is. I want to talk about my son. These are things that I want to discuss. What I don't want to continue to discuss is things like this. Now, it's okay for me to tell my story. Of course, I'm going to tell my story. But to have to repeat this madam story again because someone else is going around warping the story to make them look better is stupid. As if they exposed me or if they know some type of details about this story when they don't. People who speak about me the most know very little about me. Very little. So they take a story that they heard about me on YouTube and they try to spin it to sound whatever way that they want it to. Please, people, understand something. Please understand that it's easy to get stuck inside of the rabbit hole of negativity on YouTube. It's easy for you to turn onto YouTube and get pulled into all of these trolls gossiping and stuff about somebody. Not just me, everybody. They're doing it to everybody. You just have to decide what you want to watch. So if you see some negative videos about Soncerae, don't watch it. Click not interested. Thumbs it down. Don't watch it again. Because the fact that you like it is what's making them continue to do it. The people that don't like it are the people that I'm interested in pulling into my audience. I like deep, meaningful conversations. I don't like gossip. I don't like drama. That's not my interest. And I don't care how many people tell you that I'm interested in that. I'm not. I'm here to tell you, it's really not appealing to me. I want to discuss stuff that matter. Stuff that matter, like your spirit, your life, your money, your finances, survival. things that help you improve your life. That's why the name of the channel is Real Relationships and Lifestyle Improvements. Hell, I'd rather talk about my Toxic Relationship Tuesday videos and my Thug Thursday videos and talk about this. I don't want to keep having to address trolls and gossip, so I'm not going to. This is going to be my last video addressing a troll, because honestly, I've noticed that every time I address a troll or a negative person that couldn't make it, they didn't make the cut in my past, so they want to try to ruin my future. Every time I mention them, I take a piece of my soul, piece of my peace away, and I'm doing it to myself. Again, like I've said plenty of times, you get to choose how you respond to people in their negative shit. That's the way you control the way that your life goes. I get to decide whether or not this person's comment annoys me. I get to decide whether this person who made a video about me annoys me. I can just ignore it. It's a choice. I can delete it and keep moving. I don't have to respond to it. And so I'm just going to decide from now on that it's worth ignoring. These people do not have enough. I don't know. They don't have any type of stock in my life. Like, my life still going amazing. Like, the more that they sit here and talk about me, they don't even realize that my life still goes amazing. You can still sit here and try to spread lies about me and my family, my mother, my son, my daughter's father. I mean, they've really tried it over here. You can continue to do it. Knock yourself out, okay? Because your little fan fictional stories, if that's what entertainment is to you every day, you want to play victim as if Soncerae did something to you, knock yourself out, because the proof is in the pudding. People can look on my channel every day and be like, yo, Soncerae did not do what this person is saying. A lot of people just not falling for the bullshit. Other people pretending like they're Soncerae's victim. Because like I said, people like to poke me behind the scenes. And then if I mention them publicly, they want to say, oh, I'm Soncerae's victim. Meanwhile, in the background, they doing all of this crazy stuff to get me to respond to them. I just can't keep doing that. It's ruining my spirit. I'm a happy person. I'm a kind person. I laugh all of the time. I'm in a good mood majority of the time. And then someone comes in my life and tries to take my happiness from me. And I can't keep allowing that. And I don't encourage any of you to do that. And that's the main reason why I continue to tell people what I go through. Number one, I know people can relate and resonate to some degree. To some degree, you may not be on YouTube telling your life, but you do live life every day, and you are experiencing negative people. You are experiencing people from your past that don't know how to shut the fuck up. You're experiencing people who may be miserable with their own life and don't have nothing else better to do. You may be experiencing the fact that you made your mistakes in your life and you speak on it and get judged. You can resonate with that. We all can resonate with that. Where we told somebody maybe a secret, something we did, we made a mistake, or we made a mistake, we feel so bad, we judging our damn self. I'm a relatable person. I'm a normal person, even though I'm a quote unquote celebrity. I'm still a normal person. And every single celebrity that you're looking at, or if you're looking at someone on YouTube, or if you're looking at a movie or a concert, or you're seeing all of these people in commercials, they're still all human beings. And that's what I want people to understand. Don't put me at a higher expectation than you put your damn self. And that's what a lot of people do. They expect more from me than they expect from them damn selves. They'll go around and do all of this detrimental stuff, have all this negative behavior. But let's Soncerae defend herself after something negative has happened to her. Oh, she's crazy. She's a negative person. I'm her victim. Woe is me. Cut it the fuck out, man. Because the negative behaviors that you claim Soncerae has displayed against you, or that you claim Soncerae has had, you have displayed at least once in your lifetime, whether it's towards Soncerae or not. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the shit I'm having to deal with. So I tell my stories. I tell my stories to you guys for a reason. It's because I want you to improve your life as well. I'm not sitting here just telling you to improve your life. Meanwhile, I'm not doing it. There's a reason why I'm sitting here and I'm discussing all of this stuff. There's a reason. It isn't because I want to just hear my own self speak. I like the sound of my own damn voice. No, I'm telling the stories for a reason. And everyone under the sound of my voice, please understand that. Okay? Please. Casey, I appreciate you being in the live chat, girl. You won. You a real MVP. Stuff you be saying be funny. Teresa, Sleepy, what up? Mansa LB, what up? Empathetic Soul, how you doing? Black Girl 70, what's up? So that's everybody that's in the chat. If you are inside of the chat, which is funny because it's like 45 people in here. Listen, and I only named like 6 people. Listen, so if you are watching the live stream, make sure you thumbs up. I know some of y'all just hear and be messy and listen because you just want the tea, you just want the gossip. You know, make sure you thumbs it up. That's another thing. People coming into the live chat to listen, they want to hear the gossip and shit, but they thumbs it down and just sit here and listen because they haters and shit. Don't do that. Don't do that. For some reason, listen, the user ratings are off and people are still sitting here disliking videos because they can. Like I had a video of 1 minute. It got 22 dislikes up for a minute. 1 minute got 22 dislikes because someone, like I said before, I think someone has a bot. They put a bot on. Like what you guys don't know is there's certain bots that you can use. Like there's a dislike bot. If you don't like somebody's channel, you can put this bot on this channel and it'll dislike every single video this person posts. So I think it's a bot on my channel. And so if anything, I might contact YouTube to get the bot off because it's like I said before, with my user ratings, everything is equal. It's like if I get 33 likes, I get 33 dislikes every single time. It's like initially it'll look like, hey, I'm getting 22 to 15 likes. I mean, 22 to 25 likes. I mean, dislikes. Like I'll look at a video and it'll say, oh, 22 dislikes, and then it'll have 2 likes, right? And then after I've left the video up for a while, the video will have like 50 likes, and then it'll turn around suddenly 50 dislikes. And it does it the same way every time. It's like equal every single time. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I know it's a robot. I know it's something that's being done to the channel. It's not you guys naturally like thumbsing downing stuff. So everyone who enjoys my content, please make sure you thumbs up, share, bring more positive people to the platform. I'm here to speak positively to a whole bunch of esoteric people who have something intellectual to bring to the table, not necessarily gossip, drama, and negativity. I don't have time for that. I would prefer people that's in my audience to be college educated or at least have a high school diploma. That way you know about communicating well with people. I would prefer people who have corporate jobs. If you don't have a job, maybe you are an independent contractor, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you work from home, whatever it is. Hopefully I'm dealing with some people who have some sense, who have healthy lifestyles. Those are the people that I'm trying to, put inside of my audience, not broke people who mad at the world, who get onto YouTube or any social media platform and use it as a way to vent because they're miserable with their marriage. They're going around telling people that Soncerae picked on their children when Soncerae did not do that. I would never, ever pick on somebody's children. Let's get that out of the way. That's another rumor. Soncerae tried to attack my children and my family. I don't attack anybody's children. I don't attack anybody's family. The only person I've said that I had an issue with in regards to their family is Priest, because his family was mean as fuck to me. Like seriously. And of course, I have no problem with saying that I want to shove my foot down Sonya's throat. That's something that I'm working on. That's some real shit. I definitely want to stick my throat down Sonya's my throat. I want to stick my foot down Sonya's throat. It's because I'm very angry at her. Not because she's fucking Priest, not because she decided to get back with him, but because she lied to me. And woman to woman, I can't respect her. And then he left me inside of an extended stay hotel. Just left me there, abandoned me there. And she tried to act like she didn't know when it was her that I contacted when I couldn't find him. So that's why I have a problem with Sonya. It isn't because she's sleeping with my son's father. She was with him for 15 years. If they wanted to decide to get back together, all I needed them to do was tell me. So I don't have a problem with her sleeping with him. She can have him. He's trash to me. That's done. I gave him an opportunity. He fucked that up. The end. I don't go back. I don't need him. I don't do exits. Okay. I don't circle back. And that's another reason why the person that keeps talking about my mother is a escort. The reason why that asshole is saying that, because I didn't go back to him. He wanted to circle back. I didn't want to circle back. So that rejection is making him feel some type of way as well. I remember our situation, and I'm always going to keep it 100% with everybody. I'm never going to lie about my situation. So if you hear people saying I'm lying and all this negative stuff, please do not pay attention to that stuff. Because that's a whole bunch of mentally ill people who don't know how to be honest with themselves. They can't even be honest with the people that they like, the people that they love. I see people who claim that they like another content creator or another YouTuber, and they still lie to that person. It's because they're liars. That's what they do. That's part of their character. There's a difference between a person making a mistake when they speak and they might say something, or they might have made a mistake and lied once because they didn't want to be embarrassed, versus a person who has a character where they continuously lie over and over and over again. And the funny thing is, the liars lie and tell everybody that I lie. It's like these psycho ass people. like how you going to tell people I lie about a situation that I went ahead and told the truth about, and that's the only reason why you're even able to talk about the subject, because I told the truth about it. You know, like you wouldn't even know about this situation at all had I not said anything. You feel me? So I tell the truth. I'm very honest, and I will continue to be that type of person. I don't care what anybody says. Like, that's just who I am. You know what I mean? But I do want everybody, like I said, what you do on the internet, who you're talking to, you know, how you communicate, all of that stuff is energy, and that energy will come back to you. So you got to be careful on how you respond to people. You see somebody doing something negative, don't respond to that shit. Just let that shit go. Like, I remember telling people at one time, like, if you see somebody saying something negative about me, don't argue with them. Just say, yo, that's false. If it's false, say that's false. You know, go to her channel. A lot of people have these negative stories about me that they heard. They never even went to my channel to try to do their own research, or they would feel differently about me as a person. It's a lot of people that's not liking me because of something that they heard, not necessarily because they came to the channel and I did something and that's why they dislike me. It's usually because some troll or some person seeking some attention, or trying to play the victim like they ain't never done nothing wrong. It's talking about me. I remember Mark said to me, Mark, my moderator, said to me, and this is funny. He said, I was having a conversation about, the person that's accusing my mother of being a escort. When I was dating this person, he was in a relationship with somebody else, and I was on my YouTube channel basically saying over the weekend that I was very comfortable with being this man's side chick for a reason, right? Because I had been in so many relationships and been so hurt. I just wasn't mentally and emotionally in a good place to be anybody's girlfriend or anybody's wife. All I wanted to do was be a side chick. All I needed was a person to help me get over what I was getting over. And so people were upset about that, and they judged me about that, but I told the truth. That's what happened. They like, I don't mind you guys feeling some type of way about that. And so then Mark says to me, I don't understand why so many people judge you when it was him that was in a relationship. You were single. He was in a committed relationship, cheating on a woman who was planning a wedding. What was he doing with you to begin with? No one looks at him and says that. He shouldn't have been like talking to you to begin with. And I keep trying to explain to people, if you're going to judge me, judge him as well. Don't just sit here and judge me for dating him. Don't just sit here and judge me for going to a swingers party with a man when he was married going to the swingers party. Don't forget this. He was married, giving people oral sex on the floor, doing that nasty shit, oral sex with girls he don't know. Okay? He was married or on his way to get married at a swingers party, a sex party, with his side chick while his girlfriend was on a flight out of town. Think about that. Let that sit with you for a second. Like, say it out loud to yourself. Soncerae was a single woman who just decided to want to be a side chick. She didn't want to be in a relationship. I wasn't trying to be with him. I wasn't trying to steal him from her or anything like that. I was just a single woman going through some personal stuff. Okay, I should be judged for that, right? That makes sense. I was a single woman. I decided to deal with someone who was in a relationship. All right. Plenty of women have done it. Plenty of men have done it. Okay. I deserve to be judged, right? That makes sense. But no one is judging him. Think about what he did. Judge him. If you're going to judge me, you also have to judge him. It's the same thing with priests. Priests like Soncerae had a baby by a married man. Why isn't it this man cheated on his wife with Soncerae? This man cheated on his wife and had a baby by another woman. Let that sit with you. If he was such a devoted, happy husband, why was he all over social media doing videos and taking pictures with me? That doesn't make sense. No devoted married man is going to be all over social media cheesing and smiling and shit, talking about he getting married in a live stream, telling people he going to marry me in a live stream. This is what Priest was doing. So if he was such a happily married man and he was just, we were sneaking around and I was his side chick, why the fuck would he be on live stream just sitting here like, yeah, me and Soncerae get married, we're gonna have kids coming soon. Come on, man, y'all gotta start using y'all. Like that should be dumb. Like when I hear people talk about me and Priest is dumb. When I hear people talk about me and this asshole that tried to accuse my mother of being a madam, my mother's not a madam, moron. She was never a madam. My mother is an amazing woman. Okay, my mother, she's an amazing woman. She's been disabled my whole life. My mother got sick when I was like 10. And my mother has been in and out of the hospital ever since. Before that, she was an accountant. My mother has never been a madam. My mother has never been a prostitute. My mother has never been a stripper. My mother's an amazing woman. Now, people have to also understand that I spent a lot of my adult life away from my mother. Me and my mother weren't close. Me and my mother didn't get close until after my son was born. When I got pregnant, me and my mother got closer. Before that, we weren't like that. My mother is closer to my little sister than me. I basically raised myself. My mother was working and doing so many other things. I didn't have anybody to watch after me. My father was gone too, so I was watching after myself. So I had to learn all of the things I learned on my own. My mother was very neglected because she had so many other things going on. She was working and she was sick, so she couldn't take care of me. So now that I'm older, my mother is building a relationship with me now, and we're a lot closer than we were. So when I was so there's things my mother doesn't know about me. My mother doesn't know certain things about me in regards to certain things that I may have done. But my mother knows my character. She knows I'm not going to do anything ridiculously crazy. I'm not going to hurt anybody intentionally. I'm not going to rob anybody. I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm not going to put up fake profiles to troll people. My mother knows I don't have time to do all of this stuff. I'm not going to hurt anybody's family. If I speak about somebody's family being that's dysfunctional, that's exactly what they are. I'm not going to dysfunctionally hurt somebody else. Listen, all of our families are dysfunctional. Mine is dysfunctional. That's why it's so easy for me to look at somebody else's family like, yo, this family is a trip. People be like, Soncerae is going around messing with people's families. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I can speak my opinion about somebody's family, but I'm not going to go around stalking and, a family or talking about family I don't know nothing about. Like, why would I do that? I don't know anything. I can only talk about what I know. I can't talk about something I don't know. So I'm not going around stalking people's family or harming people's family and chastising or stalking someone's daughter and all this lies that people say. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. If you're looking for the proof of things that I've done, like the things that I'm saying, because I've debunked every single thing someone has said about me negatively, and I'll post the proof that I didn't do this, and people overlook it. Come on, man, stop. I tried so hard. Like I'm such a great person. I'm a great person, and I will always be a great person, and I love everyone who loves me back. You understand? I'm very genuine. I'm very kind. And I'm going to talk about the things that I want to talk about on my YouTube channel. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Just don't come. You don't have to be here. I understand. No hard feelings. We cool. We still cool. If I see you on the street, you want to just say hi, Soncerae. I don't like your channel, but I like you though. And I'm like, okay, I like you too. I respect you as a human being. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't like my channel or whatever, but I'm not gonna hate you. That's fine. We can agree to disagree. You feel what I'm saying? you like we gotta hate each other off of that. That's just stupid. Like I don't know. I don't know. I love you guys. Listen, I got to go. I'm gonna go buy me something. I'm gonna go get my hair done today because my hair looks crazy. It's like back in a ponytail. If you saw my live streams recently, you see my hair is like back in a ponytail. And I hate wearing a ponytail. I think I'm gonna straighten my hair. I haven't straightened my hair in a long time. So I think I'm gonna straighten it today, and you guys gonna see me with the Claire Huxtable going on, my natural hair. Y'all gonna see me with my Claire Huxtable on. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much for being supportive and being positive inside of my live chats. If you have any questions about metaphysics and spirituality, hit me up. Okay, if you have questions about lifestyle and money and health and finances, hit me up. If you have questions about relationships, hit me up. Okay, don't send me emails talking about I heard such and such said such and such about you. Can you address that topic, please? Stop. People hit me up with that. Stop. Okay. Just know if somebody's saying something negative about me on YouTube, 9 times out of 10 they're just making up a story. Just know that. I got to stop getting frustrated with these people because they taking my beauty away from me. I'm aging. I need to age gracefully. And the more and the more stressed I am about them, I start losing my beauty. Come on, like stop it. Like you can always look at me and tell like something is fucking wrong. Like you're like, Soncerae just looks so tired. She just looks old. She looks about 38 right now. But then when you see me on a good day, and I'm like having my energy like I do right now, I look beautiful as hell. Have you noticed? Like my aura is completely different. Like you have to see it because I know I see it when I'm looking at videos. I'm like, yo, I look so tired right there. Like I look like I've been through it. It's because my energy is different. And because I'm dealing with some type of stressful things that I don't need to be like dealing with, man. Like YouTube people and the stuff that's happening inside of these YouTube streets. Listen, I ain't got time to be running around these YouTube streets with y'all. I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the person that, listen, I ain't got time to be in the streets jumping rope. I'm in the house reading a book. Okay. I'm like the bookworm in the house that don't go outside to play. I got stuff to do. I ain't got time to be in these YouTube streets slanging dope. You know what I mean? I'm the athlete going to damn practice every week. I ain't got time to be slanging dope in the streets, in these YouTube streets. Okay, so stop telling me what's happening on YouTube streets. These low budget ass people in the street passing around gossip. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. You understand? So listen, keep it positive. All right, y'all. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste. I said, why I say namaste and it ain't shut off. Okay. Namaste.